Stimulus, it is the one word other than vaccine that we get asked about most here at WFMY News 2. We know you have questions. We are working to get you answers. Mark Hensley from AARP North Carolina Triad Region and Kevin Robinson from Robinson Tax and Accounting are our experts for today. Now you can text them your question, and this is how you do it. The number is 336-379-5775. We're going to have that up on the screen for you, and we are also going to put it in the bottom left-hand corner so that you'll have it throughout the rest of this Q&A period. Again, this is a text only. Do not call that number. Text only. If you call that number, there are people in the newsroom who will not be able to direct your question. So we want to make sure that all the questions are here with our two experts. All right. So first and foremost, let's start with this. You're going to love this one, Mark. When the checking of your status for your stimulus message says need more info or status not available, what does that mean? Am I getting a check?
So this rollout has been rather problematic. First of all, the deployment of checks or payments of any form ceased last Friday. That was January the 15th. So if you're not getting an answer on, get my payment tool at irs.gov, then there's a really good likelihood that you're not going to receive a stimulus, and you're going to need to count that as a rebate on when you file your 2020 taxes.
Okay, so with that said, we're now going to throw it over to Kevin Robinson, who taxes is what he is an expert in. So this is something that even if people don't normally file taxes, they need to file taxes to get this recovery rebate.
Yes, Tanya, that's a good point. And then generally, yes, they should file taxes to at least get the recovery rebate, and they would file it on Form 1040 or 1040 SR. And they can do that if they don't normally file taxes, or they missed, as Mark said, some people may miss getting the second stimulus check. And some people, when we reconcile the recovery rebate credit, which is line 30 on Form 1040 and 1040 SR, that credit is greater than the stimulus payments they have, then basically the difference will be a refundable credit for those. So they do need, it would be good to go ahead and file and not lose that refundable credit.
And so that is line 30 on everyone's taxes when they do it. Again, line 30. And if you go to the Who Wants to Know section right now, we have a whole bunch of your common questions answered. And there is a link to the free e-file. You can file for free. And I think that is a really big deal, Kevin, because I think a lot of people think that filing taxes is going to cost them, but that is not the case.
That is true, Tanya. I think it's somewhere of an income level of around 72,000. Somewhere if it's under that, they can file for free and not have to, almost take out a small loan just to pay to have their taxes prepared. So that's a good thing that's out there to file for free. That's the IRS is offering.
Okay, Mark, this is a question that we commonly get, and unfortunately the answer is not probably what the folks at home want to hear. This person says, I switched banks last June after the first stimulus. It shows the $600 was sent to my old bank account. I'm on Social Security and I don't file taxes. What do I do? Where is my money?
Okay, so if the bank account was closed, the bank automatically is going to return that to the IRS, which is going to force this person to have to claim that as Kevin said on that line 30, whichever form that you file. I've talked to a lot of older adults, people on Social Security that have not filed taxes in years, sometimes decades. And this is absolutely terrifying to them. They are not familiar with filing online. They haven't done it in so long, they don't know which forms to use. So this is a real big problem because they're having to file again so they can receive this cash rebate. And this is a person that's going to end up probably using that 1040 SR form. It is obtainable online. The forms, Kevin, you can correct me, are always, paper forms are available at libraries and maybe even other locations, but they are going to have to file sometimes for the first time in many, many years.
That's true, Mark, very true. And it is scary for them because they really had no need to file, and they're probably relieved not to, but they need to get their name in the system so they can take advantage of these recovery rebates that they are owed.
And I don't mean to open up a can of worms here. I don't know if either one of you have any insight into this, but the last time I looked at the IRS page, and I got to tell you folks, the IRS page changes all the time with different kinds of updates. It appeared that they were kind of saying that you had to e-file to get the recovery rebate, that it wasn't going to be available by paper return. Either one of you have any kind of insight on that?
I know for me as a tax professional that if I do more than 10 paid returns, I have to e-file or explain why. So basically, though, if the older person could take it to someone they trust, and e-filing is quicker, it's safer, given the mail system and how long that's been taking. So, but I guess with that said, if it comes, push comes to shove and they have to get it mailed out, then that will take longer. And there's a risk of it getting lost. So that's why they really should try to get it e-filed, even if they have to go to a family or friend or someone they trust that will e-file it for them.
And I think there was something like, I don't know, thousands and thousands of tax returns that were done by paper that were still sitting on the IRS desk waiting to be processed from last year. So if you can, whatever you can do to e-file. Hey, that brings me to this question, Kevin. Do we know about like the volunteer assistance that usually happens around this time of year? Or maybe Mark, you might know whether there's going to be any free help with that?
So I'd like to take that. AARP provides the only free tax assistance preparation program in the country. And this is very new information. They have actually decided to hold off opening any sites or doing any AARP tax preparation until February the 12th. And if you Google, there is a website, you just type in AARP Tax Aid, you can register to receive updates. But as of now, they are training the preparers and they are determining if it's going to be, how they're going to do this, if it's you drop off your forms and pick them back up later. Of course, contact has to be limited, but there is a delay. It will coincide with the first day you can file, which is February the 12th.
Okay, and you know what? Hey, Mark, go ahead and send me that web address as well, and I'll put it in our story so that folks have it and they're able to click on that quickly. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back answering your questions after this next break.